and all of that. So it's like people could see it. They you know, they feeling it. They feel that strong vibe that we giving it. And like I said, man, it's just that they love it. They love it, man.
It's a big mind. It's a big percentage of poor people going on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So they can get with the actually, you know what I'm saying, feel what we feel. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't nobody trying. I'm always gonna be on some ghetto ground, cause I don't know, man. When I moved out to Florida like 2 years ago, man, I started getting on some country stuff. You know what I'm saying? Coming back with sandals and, you know what I'm saying? So I had to come back home, you know what I'm saying, keep it real with my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And they just brung something out of my heart, and I just brung something out of their heart, you know what I'm saying?
Like I said, it's like tongue is a sword, and we chopping off all corny MCs' heads. That's why we came with Protect Your Neck.
We be watching Kung Fu flicks too, though. That's like my favorite joints, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be into the Kung Fu flicks.
What it do is your boy Jay Reed. We're here with another one. So Wu-Tang. So Wu-Tang came on this. Wu-Tang, one of the most influential rappers of all time. How the group started, the rise of Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang came out in the early 90s. I mean, they had to have been the deepest group since hip-hop we ever fucking seen in our lives. I mean, it comes with, Method Man, one of the most famous person, one of the famous people, then Old Dirty Bastard with the personality. You know, a lot of people say, who the Old Dirty Bastard? Old Dirty Bastard was just flamboyant, said what on his mind. I mean, he came in a limo to get food stamps. I mean, how gangster and real is that? Come on, like, who does that shit, man? So Wu-Tang members are RZA, GZA, Inspector Deck, You Got, Ghostface Killer, Method Man, Raekwon, Master Killer, and Capone. Now they're signing with Steve Records label Loud Records in '92. The Wu-Tang released their debut album, Into the Wu-Tang, 36 chain, receiving positive views. It's critically acclaimed. It's also regarded one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. And then, between those years, 94 and 97, the group started doing solo things, People started doing solo albums. That's one of the most critically acclaimed albums of all time, actually. That album right there, that album really set the tone for hip hop. Ghostface Killer, who had a solo project, he did, Only Built for Cuban Links. And that was a classic right there. Only Built for Cuban Links. Raekwon. Then he was on Raekwon. And then the roommate of Wu-Tang found the RZA. Ghostface helped bring the other 7 members in '95. Ghostface starts. And then Only Built for Cuban Links is another classic one right there by a lot of people who don't understand. Raekwon gave you the purple tape right there. Just a lyricism, and then Raekwon gave you Clientele, which is another classic album y'all should check out right here. Y'all should check out. And it debuted atop the Billboard 200. It was nominated for the Best Rap Album at the 1998 Grammys Awards. The group later released the album The W, Iron Flag, and at least those other albums didn't do well. The other albums they released, they was nominated for a Grammy. And then in 2000, that's when they really began. A lot of those groups in the early 90s fell off. And when 2000, when the new millennium hit, around the late 90s, they kind of fell off, like Wu-Tang. They released the W, 2000, the Iron Flag, 8 Diagrams. Yeah, did poorly. I mean, it was certified gold. And it was the group's second lowest selling album. 687 copies. Yeah, they actually got shut down. And the album peaked at 32 on Billboard 200 and only sold 153,000 copies in a week. So that boom bap rap style was, and then the Old Dirty Bastard wasn't even on the album. Yeah, at that time, the boom bap rap style, that lyricism was kind of fading. There was more in the Blaine era. That's when the Hot Boys was running the era. That's when, No Limit was running the air. That's when the South kind of had it there. the East Coast had its thing in the early mid '90s. Around the late '90s and the millennium, that's when the South took over it right there. And also, this guy Martin Scherschly purchased a $2 million album. You know, they seventh album, but you know it never came out. You know, and a lot of members was mad that he had this Wu-Tang unreleased music that, you know, nobody had, the public didn't have. He got sued for that. Actually went to jail behind, you know, not releasing pills or something. He actually went to jail too. A lot of people was outraged about it, but I feel like he kind of saved the world from a bad goddamn album nobody wants to hear. I think goddamn Wu-Tang, they probably make a lot of money off tour because I think a lot of people want to see them, but, you know, they're still lyricists, great rappers, conscious rappers. Yeah, but you know, making money on tour and getting the bag off that, people want to see them. You know, the older hip hop fans, you know, the mature fans, but I don't think the younger generation want to see that. And then, you know, 2008, they were collectively the Wu-Tang Killer Bees and launched the careers of a number of affiliated artists and groups and claimed the number one greatest hip. They were ranked as, in 2008, About a magazine and the Rolling Stone, one of the greatest hip hop groups of all times. And it was some Rolling Stone called Wu-Tang the best rap group ever, and it was called the most influential rap group ever. I totally agree it was the most influential rap group ever. We haven't seen anything like this. You know, a lot of people cream. You know, that was a crazy hot song. Cash Rule Everything Around Me. Classic song, by the way. Y'all should check out. Classic record. Classic. They actually got it from a martial arts film, Into the Dragon and the 36 Chambers. It's martial arts. So that's where they got the theme with it from. The hardcore East Coast rap shit. You know, the singles off there was Protect Your Neck. You know, Method Man, Cream, Can It All Be So Simple. That was probably, you know, Cash Ruled Everything Around Me. The second single released from the album. And it had a sample from there, As Long As I've Got You. Charles' 1967 song, As Long As I Got You. Throughout, it featured two verses from the members, Raekwon and Inspector Deck, who discussed that. They showed about their upbringing, slinging dope, making money. It only peaked at number 60 on the Billboard 100, but in the community, in the culture, it impacted the culture, that song. You know, I think it impacted the culture as anything. And it's also regarded as one of the greatest songs of all time. So many artists have sang, and it's also been sampled so many times, though. That song right there. I'm sure that video probably got over 1 billion views. I mean, I'm sure that video got a lot of views. It actually has 173 million views. That's dope right there, man. For a song album that came out 30 years ago, that's definitely a pickup. One of the most sampled songs. You know, some people say that's one of the hip hop greatest songs right there. Definitely a hot song, man. The Wu-Tang. I think Method Man, me personally, probably one of the best Wu-Tang members. You know, because the film, you know, one of the biggest stars out of there. You know, I think he had a lot of better solo success. He did an album with Redman, another hot artist too, come out. I thought Redman was in the group. Actually, he wasn't listed as a member, just a close affiliate. Yeah, man, I think Redman probably my favorite, or probably the most successful one out the group. And then it goes from Raekwon and Ghostface and so on. I want to go with, yeah, placed on 60 and on hot. The song was placed on 60 U.S. Billboard Hot 194. And Can It All Be So Simple by Gladys Knight and the Pimps. It samples that song, The Way We Hear. That song talks about the hardships of the 80s and growing up. The music video was directed by Hype Williams. And it has a cameo from MC8. So they're talking about the hardships growing up in the 80s right there. Can It All Be So Simple? Yeah. It's a classic record right there. Classic record right there. Yeah. Wu-Tang one of the greatest groups of all time, man. In my humble opinion, you know, A lot of people may say the Migos, people Bone Thugs, 3 6. Well, I'm going. I think personally one of the greatest, but my favorite rap group probably would be 3 6 Mafia because they from the South. Gotta show love to the South. I know it might be being biased, but hey, it is what it is though. But y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all go fuck with the video. I'm out.